Hello, everybody. It's Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, US banking holidays. Today, we need to talk about how do we trade when we're in these kind of high, low liquidity US banking time zones. So what we have here is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin shit the bed. 4-hour time wise, we are turning trend. We're turning from being bullish, correcting up to 105. That was the hope from my point to maybe going down lower. So I want to unpack this, or is this just because of the public holiday, and what we do if so? Then I also want to look at some of the altcoins. We've got Lab. Lab did really well. I've been screaming Lab for forever now, and we went up from 15 all the way to 20 cents. That's a really good 25% amidst the crazy of Bitcoin dumping. So we've got something there as well. So we want to look at those alts trending. And what else do we want to do? We want to make sure that big picture wise, with Bitcoin where it's at right now, everything, the sentiment that we want to experience, saying that, is there still hope for 105? So if that interests you, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and come say hi. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Let's bring in some chill tunes. I'm going to go to the Bitcoin Weekly Timeframe, and we're going to get going. Rene being number one commenter for today. Good morning, Rene. Nice to have you on stream. Let's get this Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin Weekly Timeframe. Now, why do I look at Bitcoin on the weekly? In the beginning, when I was a trader, it kind of felt like it was a useless thing to do because it's out of context of trying to trade. But the key with weekly is just to help you set your bias. It's important. We're all human beings. We trade emotionally. And if we feel like we're doing the right thing, we tend to want to do that. So let's have a look at what would be the right thing as opposed to what we think the right thing would be. That didn't quite make sense. Okay? You're already thinking what we're trying to get there. But okay, you get the idea. I'll bring down the audio a little bit still. Peter, how's the audio volume for the background? Good there? Yeah, thumbs up, okay. Morning, Mr. LTech Codes as well. And yes, good morning, the crypto EMC family. EMC for emotional market cycles. That's the key. That drives the thing. Our emotions. Weekly Bitcoin analysis then points to the main thing is we have turned bearish from 102 when we lost there. We tried to stay above that critical support. Clearly indicated with the buddy indicator. Makes it simple. Does the work for us. But the RSI is giving us hidden bullish divergence. And we know that this is a really strong signal because hidden bullish divergence. So it's this one. There we go. Hidden bullish divergence comes when we have the market not make a lower low, but the RSI does do that. It tells you that this is buy the dip territory. Back to the Bitcoin price. Buy the dip territory, meaning that from these lows to these higher lows with this lower low in the RSI. And normally the way a trend changes turns around to be bearish long term as per our analysis, our bull market sentiment analysis, is that you need the higher time frames to just first delete hidden bullish divergence. I'll do this so Peter can bring back my camera. You first need to delete it, which means that in order for us to say that we're going to be bear market until August this year, as per the time analysis, this needs to happen first. We need to go back up. We need to create hidden bearish divergence. Same version, price cannot make a higher high, but the RSI overshoots as people are getting trapped. And then from that point onwards, we need to delete this because now we're going to go make a lower low. And only then can we truly say, bear market correction, we're in it. And I'm a big fan, and I always stick to my guns, saying that the trend is your friend until it bends. And although everybody says this time it's different, when you look back at it, it ends up being exactly the same because everything is driven by these emotions. The human psychology around trading and investing hasn't changed. Therefore, the charts will still look the same. And therein lies the beauty because it gives us this this repetitive nature that allows us to exploit the market for our benefit, well, for profit. Now, where we are right now then, to finish up our sentiment, is that it's too soon to say bear market from a bias point of view, but we understand that there's a simple, crystal clear invalidation for this bullishness that we've got going in the market, saying to us now that it's buy the dip scenario. Now, the daily time frame, next phase. We've got our weekly, we've got our bias in check. Leo, you have your bias set? Let me know. Altec, Renee, give me a comment. Just say yes or something. Is the bias set? You know what to expect. Now we move on to the daily time frame. Daily time frame then tells us what to expect from our trades, our swing positions, or even our spot buys. And how we do that is by doing this, looking at the daily and analyzing where we are within the structure. Now, as you can see, I started the stream off with a weekly, with a 4-hour chart, with a bearish, orange colored candle saying like, oh, Bitcoin shit the bed. But if you look at this from a daily point of view, what are we doing right now? This is the upper end of where liquidity is. This is the lower end of where liquidity lived. Yet again, clearly indicated with the buddy indicator. So it simplifies things for you. And if that is the case, what needs to happen is price for today in this low liquidity environment. US is out of the picture. They're on holiday today. What we want to see is the daily not open and close. Now we've wicked through. We've opened on top of it, but we have yet to close below 93,500. And as long as we stay, and if we can stay above that level, 93,500, it brings the argument for price to push into the sell zone again, giving us these higher targets, 99,500, 101,700, and potentially even 105. The sell zone I've been sharing and I've identified with you guys for forever. And if you haven't sold any of your Bitcoin spot, the anticipation is if this is where the bearish trend is going to want to build a base to go down lower, this analysis, this is where we want this thing to go down up until August. Where we were tickling, yes, last week was the right time to do that rebalancing of your risks. Altec says he's locked and loaded. Yes, rebalancing of that risk, getting some coins sold at a really good price. Then to sum things then up for the daily. The weekly we now know, bullish. The daily we now know that we broke out of the range and we're testing the upper end of the range. So what cannot happen? We cannot sit in this price bracket for days at end, because as soon as we do that, it tells us that we've fallen back into this range and then more downside is expected. We'll probably go test the bottom of the range again. To then conclude on our daily, one important thing that needs to happen, or the most important thing, is where will we close by the end of the day? We need to close above 93. Close below that. This is our first close below this level. Then tomorrow, we cannot stay here. Then tomorrow, we need to pump, or else we're going to go lower still. Still doesn't change the weekly outlook, because the weekly considers all of this as just part of being its invalidation. But you get the idea now. Now we have a multi-time frame analysis based on what is happening within our low liquidity environment today. And this being a low liquidity environment makes for a quick, fast little dump, because there's not a lot of people buying the dip. The US will probably wake up tomorrow and start fueling in. So I expect this candle to close below this level at midnight tonight. But tomorrow I expect a massive rally in order to support this. This is my expectation. This is a prediction. You cannot take it to the bank. You cannot do anything with it, but try and see if you can trade or find critical support levels with it. Because we all know it's not about being right. It's about making money here, guys. Not financial advice, though. Please, no financial advice. I'm an idiot. Okay. Now, when we look at Bitcoin back to the 4-hour time frame, this is now the important part, because this sets us up for the trading. I've now given you a bias. I've given you structure. I've given you where the invalidations are. And I've given you my personal opinion or prediction. Now we want to take action in relation to that. The 4-hour time frame is where that starts. Take away the RSI real quick. You don't want to have too much in it. So we know that price needs to stay above that area. So what needs to happen on the 4 hour? Two ways you can identify what you need to do. One, look for hidden bullish divergence. This trend, this move, trend within range. This is the bottom of the range. There were the ISIS. This is the top of the range. There were the creakers. And the Wyckoff mentality is once we've had our shakeout, our phase C within the schematics, there's many of these schematics. Let's just quickly load a schematic for you guys. Anyone will pretty much do. Phase B, you build the base. Phase C is where the shakeout happens. Phase D is trend within range. Phase E, we're testing the upper end of the range. So if we go back to where we are right now, look, they're not always going to look exact same as the picture, guys. That's why you need to understand them rather than just to try and look to apply the picture, because that's where traders get trapped. But what do we have now? We established the upper and the lower end of the range. We've now built a cause. We tested, we had a shakeout. We're creating a trend within range. And now the idea is we're trying to stay above the range for the move to the outside. That's what we're trying to trade on a 4 hour. Now to take that into how do you act? Well, if that is a trend, you'll have hidden bullish divergence. Similar to what Bitcoin had on the weekly, means that wherever we are here within price, we cannot go below there in price. So we're sitting at 92,600 at the moment. Our bullish invalidation for a swing long explains very clear. If we go below 90, it's about a $3,000 on a Bitcoin price. If we go below that level, there will no longer be the possibility for hidden bullish divergence, the continuation of the trend. Let's bring in our friend the RSI right now and see what it is saying. Clearly, you can see this is how repetitive the market becomes. The RSI is already overshot, meaning that the sell-off was too quick. It's gonna get reversed. The rule: when it's fast, it doesn't last. When it's slow, let it grow. So when you have these fast moves, guys, expect a reversal, or at least price to go test where the big breakdown of the structure occurred. How do you trade this thing? Again, with the conventional way of trading, you can apply your fibs, and there's statistical areas. What did I delete there? My indicator. There's statistical areas where these bounces will occur. And that's easy to identify. You can switch to a closing of price. It's just going to make things easier. Move it from the high to the low, or from the low to the high. And I apply my Strat 4 fib. Strat 4 says statistically where the continuation of the trend will occur. Similar to what we did now here with the weekly on the bearish trend. Where would that statistically happen? We tagged that ever so slightly with the top of that wick. I think the daily shows it a little bit better. Sorry, guys, there. We tagged it. That's all we're trying to do. We're just looking at that statistical probability. Have the odds in your favor. You cannot guarantee the outcome. You'll never be able to do it. Make peace with that. But if you trade in harmony with the odds, given enough time, you will win more than you lose. It's as simple as that. Back to the 4 hour then. This means that where we're at right now is a good time to buy the dip, be bullish. Understand that your invalidation lives below 90,000, or considering the wick, 89,000 thereabout, which means that this is where we're building a base. Now, the indicator makes things a little bit easier because it looks at things from a different lens. And as long as we build a base, it will be orange. Once with the base is done and the big moves happen, the indicator will override the candles for you in a blue fashion, explaining to you that the market is primed for more upside. Break below these levels, the indicator will remain bearish, and it's then at lower time frames where we can try and take the swings. Now, what's the intention of a swing? A swing, you want to buy something at a specific area with a play, a large wave play. You're not trying to swing something, Bitcoin from a 91 to a 92. That's not a swing. That's a scalp. A swing is Bitcoin from 97 all the way down to 90, at 10%, a large move. So when we talk swing, you can almost say spot trade as well, because that's big enough to make a meaningful move or a meaningful gain should you sell at a high and buy at the low. You don't want to be doing that for a merely 0.001% of Bitcoin's price action. In order to make that profitable, you need to leverage. That's when the leverage position comes in. Okay. Now we have this. We understand where we are. We want to swing this to the upside. And if we break down, we start falling below the structure, we can swing this thing to the downside even further, because then it opens the door for price to go and visit the low 80s. We don't want to have that happen to us, because it's nice when things go up, bullish sentiment, everybody's just in a better mood, all the good things. But in all fairness and reality, we have to take what the market gives us and try and exploit that, as opposed to force our narrative onto the market and then try and profit from that. It just doesn't work that way. Over to your comments. Let's quickly see Mr. Professor Carter. I'm immediately, when I'm thinking professor, I'm thinking X-Men. I hope you're not, what's the term? Looking paraplegic? In a wheelchair. Trust you're not. But yeah, cool dude. Mr. Leo. Let's quickly have a look at it. I'm out of trading for the next 2 months due to a health issue, but loving being with the family. I have some open spot orders on Bitcoin at 77, stop loss under 73. That's the most for me at the moment. That's a good point. Some people sometimes need a break, and it's fine to take a break. And in all fairness, with the biggest swing with Bitcoin, I'm more focused these days on the alts, and we're going to talk to the alts because that's where the action is. So you're right in your assumption, especially if you're looking at this from a spot point of view. So that's quite nice. Hello, Jerry. Nice to have you here, my friend. Let's then move on to past the 4 hour. This then means that you can use the 4 hour sentiment. This being, we're waiting for a breakout to say that I'm only going to go long Bitcoin once that happens. The nice thing though is, once this 4 hour turns blue and we still have a daily time frame blue, now we have confluence of trend. That then puts the odds for the swing better. So you don't want to swing Bitcoin at this stage, being it's messy. Weekly is orange. Daily is bullish. Okay, so weekly is bearish. You can see in the trade guide there. Got a lot of lines. I've tried to move it so that you can see. Trade guide, bearish. Daily is bullish. 4 hours bearish. What does the 15-minute tell us? It's a messy thing. So to leverage trade Bitcoin swing right now, you don't. You scalp it. Get in on a move, get out, and be done with it. This fast move, as you can see, we're already trying to, it's turning blue. Candle's not locked in. There's 5 more minutes. It's already trying to do this. It's going to build a base and try and fill this imbalance. That's probably the prognosis for today. So you're going to try and trade this all the way there. Once you're there, you take profit and you wait. Because there's no higher to middle to lower time frame confluence of Bitcoin right now. It's a bloody mess. There's took profits, now waiting for the next trade. That's a good place to be. I did really well last week. I made for everybody on the copy trade account 30%. If you want to join the copy trade account, all you need to do is head over to the Discord, as there's a channel there, Co-Vesting Strategies. Go check that out. I want to remind everybody that today's stream is brought to you compliments of Prime XBT, and it's not, my thing is not loading right now. There we go. Oh, I don't want to show my stuff. And it's, yeah, I don't want that. It's compliments of Prime XBT. And what you can do is you can support the content, everything, and just open your own Prime XBT account. It's as simple as that, guys. I do have a copy trade account in there. It's a small one, just started it last week. And I think that strategy at this stage is in slight drawdown, as I was trying to scalp trade some silver and gold. So we're going to have a look at that real quick. But there you have it. So you can do that as well. Just makes things easier. And you can follow along my trades. That's it. Now, altcoins. Let's quickly have a look at altcoins. I want to get to Lab real quick. The same analysis bias that I've used to look at Bitcoin from a multi-time frame is the same that I've been using with Lab. So if we look at Lab being smaller, I'm not going weekly time frames, but I'm looking at this from a purely daily, a 4 hour and lower time frame. You can see what happened here is we've got a lot of liquidity trapped between 36 and 50. And I know that the market wants to go and recycle that liquidity. It knows that if price can get its ass up to there, there will be more emotional traders, emotionally charged traders looking for optimism, belief, and thrill. That condition that never is, it's not sustainable within any price action. It's going to look for those kind of traders. And that's what we want to capitalize. That's what I did with the copy trade account. I'm trying to get in on these moves. They're risky. Well, some of them will fail, but they're risky. But we get in on these moves because if we 10x or 20x something like this, it's 150%. 10xing that on a leverage position, that's an amazing 1,500%. There's your whole bull bear market in one trade. From a spot point of view, if you do this, you double your money, you sell the half, let the rest ride till that area, and at least now you've got some new fresh dry powder that will be set up for the next coin. I've got a list of coins here. I'll do that, pause, check that list of coins that I'm not necessarily all convinced already, but I'm scanning the market for this area. Lab, for me personally, I think we are ready and we need to capitalize on this. So now you use the same tools and principles as we did for Bitcoin, but now the answer is going to be different. Look at the 4 hour. Let's make this text box a little bit bigger for you guys. All you do is just double click on it, and then you can say to the thing, I just want to be able to read it easier. There we go. Now, the trend analysis obviously is bullish. You can see it's been bullish since there. Now, the way that I go about this is, say, if you've got 2 time frames higher, meaning if you're on the 4 hour and you're on the daily time frame, when did the daily turn blue? Let's do a vertical line just to signal that event. The daily turned blue there. When did the weekly turn blue? Yeah, weekly is not blue. Let's just stick onto the daily for the scenario. 4 hours, blue. The 4 hour turned blue, then it turned blue for the first time there. And then when did the 1 hour turn blue? After that event. Remember, now you want to have 3 consecutive events all line up, then you have harmony. Let's go 1 hour time frame. There's that event. When did the 1 hour turn blue? There. If you have all those events lined up, very simple, then you start looking for your entries. I need to change the chart. Then you start looking for your entries. So going to the 4 hour time frame, the third line, meaning that the next swing environment will be from that point of view. Simple in that regard. You're just waiting for confluence. All these daily, 4 and 1 hour is saying that there's bullish momentum there. Now we just want to make sure that they line up, because you can have, just like Bitcoin, a weekly bullish divergence, a daily bearish move testing structure, a 4 hour that's bearish or maybe holding on support, and a 15-minute that doesn't know what it wants to do. So as soon as you've got those multi-time frames all lined up, it starts giving you the better odds. The confluence starts turning into your favor. So now we've turned 4 hour again at this level. Blue again, not turned 4 hour, turned blue again at this level. Then all you need to do is just go to the higher time frames and just make sure that the momentum confluence is still there. Yes, we're still blue. So the higher time frame still suggests going up, and this was just probably a buy the dip, which means that you can start trusting this 4 hour, which means then from this level, what do? You switch to your 1 hour. And you say, okay, it's probably will be blue at that stage. Wait for that blue to turn orange and blue again. And then you enter using the 3 or 5 candle rule, depending on how big the coin's market cap would be. The way that I would then say that is simple. Put the long position on where the candle closes, because it's going to turn blue and orange while this thing is chopping. It's at the close of the candle where it's blue and it stays blue. It's never going to change there. Then you want to be 3 to 5 candles back, meaning your invalidation lives below 10. Now, how much is that? That's a 7% stop. You can't leverage trade that. I agree. But you can start building your swing positions there. You can start taking small swing positions. And as the move starts happening, what do? You stay in the swing long until it tells you to deviate from that. So you stick with your time frame. Now, if you look at this time frame, if I took my entry there and I was patient with this, my spot entry, while this thing is chopping around, it's okay. It's okay. And now it's running. It keeps you in the move for as long as the move is still valid. This thing doesn't flip bullish or bearish willy-nilly. It looks at the 3 things, the change, the momentum, and the structure, and looks at those and see where price is in relation to that, and then decides whether you need to reverse. This then takes you to the second phase. Now you've got this part. Now you go to the thing and say, well, I want to build positions. So you go to trader mode, and then you can add on these levels. when it gives you a hidden bullish divergence, who knows to say, who can say, can prove that this is the one that's not going to take the breakout? Yes. So now you're trading in harmony with statistics regarding the current trend. And when it turns orange, you sit on your hands and say, well, I still have my swing long. All these are either now took profit on their various levels or stopped out at break even, and then you do it again. And it runs until it changes, and you say, well, these stopped out probably at break even, or some probably will fail. I'm still holding my swing longs, and I'm looking for the next buy opportunity. Up until what happens? Up until you're finally in the move. And this is the part where people miss the bus. It feels you're lucky when you're in this move. But what it is preparation, meeting when the opportunity happens. That's what you're looking after or looking for. You never know whether this would have been the one, and this could have been the one. Maybe Bitcoin had a easy fit and the market had to consolidate. That's the reality. So you need to be patient. You need to be in the move, and you need to know when to just hold and wait. They call it patience. P-A-Y. Inch. However that gets. Okay. That's what you want to do with this. That's what the indicator is trying to help you guys with. Now, if you have a Prime XBT, open a fresh Prime XBT account using my link in the video description. The first 5 people to do the following: open a new, fresh Prime XBT account. Deposit at least a minimum of $1,000. Why? Because you're going to need to trade and have trading volume. Take one trade. Go to my Discord and then open a support ticket right there at the top of the market. Right there. Why is it not here? There. Just open that and send me your user ID. If you qualify, I'll give you 1 month. That's just for the first 5 guys. 1 month free access to my private group, as well as 1 month access to the Buddy Pro. You're never going to get a better deal than that. Yes, and Mr. Wizard, we've been talking lab the whole of last week. So I'm happy that it finally moved. I cannot claim it as a successful call because in the end of the day, we got lucky. We were prepared. We were waiting for the opportunity. The opportunity gave it. And now we are riding and enjoying the gates. Which means from a trading point of view now, I'm going to look for more momentum long plays there because clearly the momentum is there. And you should do the same. Now, to close off, 27 minutes in, I think we're going to wrap things up right now. To close off, there's a few coins that can still go. On my radar, we're looking for the opportunity. First one being CLO. Going to the daily time frame. Let's just do this. Going to the daily time frame. What do we have? Trend to the upside. Potentially a little bit more downside before the move occurs. But the momentum on this thing has been there. It's a beast. Going on to the 4-hour time frame. Let's just switch to a different screen. 4-hour time frame with this one. It tells you right now it's not the right time. Don't buy right now. It's definitely not the right time. Wait for the 4-hour to also turn bullish and the top hour to still be bullish. Okay, the daily. Then we can move into the smaller time frames. 1 hour for spot, 15 minutes if you're trading leverage. And you can grab it then, because then whatever this is makes sense. The fact that the higher time frames on this thing is retracing, it means that the indicator is telling you now from a trader perspective, just trade the short setups. Stop trying to fight the trend. If you traded all the short setups, enter between the gray, enter between the gray, enter between the gray, you would have been in on the money. It's as simple as that. There's your TPs. It puts the right trade in relation to the current trend, the current momentum, how strong the trend is, and where we are in relation to structure. You can see there's resistance. All these things are trying to buy where that resistance is at. Gives you the better odds, ultimately puts you in the right side of the market. Okay, please chart COAI. COAI, Jerry, is dead to me. Dead. Why? Because it lost critical support. I was looking at it. I tried 2 times. This is the COAI trades. There and there. I tried 2 times for this thing on the breakout to see if it wants to hold. It didn't. It took my profit. Okay. You never know what the future is going to bring. All you can do is prepare to get lucky. So where we're at right now, this is just done. It's done. I mean, if somebody was on leverage without a stop, you would have been liquidated by something like this. Let's have a look why I tried. 4-hour time frame. What did I try and do? The 4-hour time frame was turning bullish. We're in an extreme oversold condition. The range is tight. The argument was that we're going to probably step up. And it looked like it was because we had these upper areas of support being locked in. Prices negotiating around that range. So you'll see that if you go and have a look at that copy trade, like I say, you can just check it in the Discord, guys. It's simple. There's the channel. Co-vesting. If you don't have access, just make sure that you claim the correct roles. Get the Discord roles. There's the button. I've made my Discord so that scammers cannot write anything in there. So if you're a real person, you'll be able to get the roles. You'll be able to access everything in the Discord. If you're not a real person, it's simple. It's going to be mute to you. It's going to be useless. So if you look at this, we were trying to stay above this level. And the argument is as long as it does it, it's going to go. Friday, I called it. No, that's it, done. I'm done calling quits on this one. Try it again because we were trying this hidden bullish divergence and was trying and stay above it, and it just didn't work. So when it was done, it's done. You know? And happy to do so. So your analysis for this thing now is it's dead. It's going to do this and probably chop a little bit more. Now, if I'm wrong, what will it do to make it bullish again? It will reclaim this level. And it needs to trade above this level again. But because we fell below this, I'll be even more skeptical this time. Because it's the same as this. Lost this level. Oh, we're trying to reclaim it. It falls right back. The trend, the higher time frame trend is still bearish. Nothing has changed here yet. And the spot trader in you should actually say, well, once we do this and we start moving up, I want to rather buy it there because now I've got a confirmed trend. Maybe then we'll get lucky and we get that little exit pump rally. But for now, it's dead. Dead, 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 dead. Thank you. Have a lovely day, guys. Enjoy your banking holiday. Low liquidity day. It will be a little bit more choppy. You don't need to chase entries. And if you try and swing trade today, don't have a take profit expectation for the breakout. It will probably only happen in Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. There you have it. Have a lovely day. Cheers, everybody.